Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I never really know when this actually starts. It kind of spins for a little bit. Then, of course, it takes a moment for all of you guys to arrive. So I always start looking like, what's happening on the screen? But it is so lovely to see you guys hopping on here. It is a wonderful Friday evening here in December. We have our Facebook Live before the holidays, before the new year. And really, what I would like to address today is the energy of the humdrum that's been going on, the energy that I have been reading in the group collective, the planetary collective, that says something along the lines of, is this ever going to end? What's the point? What's the purpose? Um, I've got some burnout going on. I don't think I'm going to make it. Why bother? Those sorts of questions, those sorts of thought patterns that would create the vibration or the result of feeling pretty depressed, feeling extra tired these days, like you just can't seem to get enough sleep. A lot of people aren't sleeping very much or aren't sleeping enough, and hence they're tired also. There's just kind of a whole lot of confusion here around what's happening, what the future holds, what tomorrow is going to be like. All of that uncertainty is then creating similar levels of confusion and uncertainty in the body, which is just making it super uncomfortable to be on the planet right now. And so I really want to address that vibration. What do we do with this kind of humdrum? I'm feeling burnt out. I don't know if I can make it. This is all just too much. I'm feeling run down, maybe a bit depressed. What do we do with this energy? This is what we're going to be working on today. So, welcome. Feel free to say hello. It looks like a few people are saying hello today as I'm checking out some of the comments. I'm so glad you guys are all here today. Welcome, welcome. So yes, if you have been feeling that way, go ahead and give a yup thumbs up on the screen or something. That group collective, man, I'm telling you, the nervous system, it's like everybody's nervous system has just been on hyperdrive for so long. And really, there's this phenomenon that, called adrenal fatigue, right? You get these people who get this condition that's called adrenal fatigue. And whenever I look at that on an energetic level, that's a person who's been running so much cortisol. They're so stressed out. They're exhausting their adrenals. The adrenals are like firing like crazy on overdrive, like all the time. Bah, 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 bah. And what starts to happen is it's almost like there's kind of like a set amount of cortisol that you're given at birth. Like you get this much. And you get to use that much. And if you use all of it, then that store is depleted. And once it's completely depleted, well, then what happens is that you don't have that cortisol to help wake you up in the morning or to help get you energized so that you can have enough energy to then be able to sleep at night and, kind of wear yourself out enough during the day so that you can actually sleep at night. And so all of us, we've been kind of in this hyper state of adrenals firing like crazy for the last many months. And, if you're here in the US, it could have been for the last 4 years. If you're in other countries, it could be even longer. But especially with the COVID virus and the level at which we've been kind of like in this like marathon of, okay, what do we do? How do we handle this? How am I going to survive? How am I going to pay my bills? Some of you guys might be doing okay financially, but then you're concerned about other people, or you're concerned about your health, or concerned about loved ones dying. I mean, it's just like this constant stressor just all the time. And so, as a group collective, the whole planet, our cortisol has been um, Sorry, somebody just posted, is the lip sync off on my end? Um, Mark, are you able to hear me? Are you guys able to hear me here? I'm going to do something very weird, but let me just do something because Christina's in the next room. Christina, can you hear me all right? This is how we roll here at BPI. Our walls are thin, so we can just, yell through the wall.
I am turning my volume up because I've just been listening to you through the wall.
Oh. So Christina doesn't know if we're working because she's listening to me through the wall. She turns her volume off because otherwise it's weird. Oh, okay, so I guess I'm just a little bit out of sync, but you guys can hear me. Oh, there's a lag. Okay, sorry. I don't know how to fix the lag, but that was freaking hilarious. So now we all know what Courtney does, or what Courtney, I just saw Courtney's comment. Now we all know what Christina does. She turns her volume off so that it doesn't sound weird in the room next door. Well, I apologize that there's a bit of a lag, so I'm just gonna. I bet that makes the lag even worse. Yes, no perfect pictures here. Let's get over it. You guys will be closing your eyes soon, so it won't matter. So anyway, we have this group collective, our nervous systems are firing. We only have so much cortisol in the body before you run out and then you go into adrenal fatigue and it all just really shuts down the system. The whole system shuts down. If you've ever known anybody or if you've ever had adrenal fatigue, it's amazing the effect that it has on the body because of its link with the nervous system. And the nervous system is, very primal, very first chakra and third chakra related to both those chakras. And it has connections with the overall health of your body, how your body survives, how your body makes it through these sorts of experiences or conditions or accident situations or PTSD. It also is linked to your third chakra, which has everything to do with your physical energy levels, right? So, your adrenal glands, for those of you who don't know, are connected with your first chakra and your third chakra, okay? And when those chakras are overtaxed, overworked, okay, so especially right now with regards to COVID. We've got some survival issues that are spiking the first chakra. We have health concerns that are spiking the first chakra. We have the third chakra that's getting spiked because of COVID with regards to our mobility, our freedoms, our ability to move through life. We've got lockdowns in some places, masks in other areas, and that level of mobility, that freedom is spiking the third chakra. Um, Money, finances are attached to the third chakra, and especially with businesses closing down or losing your job, that's going to spike that third chakra. A lot of people are a bit miswired to where money is attached to the first chakra, so then it spikes both, right? Either way, those two chakras that have everything to do with the adrenals are just on overload right now. And so the adrenals are firing, which shoots out cortisol into the body. And when that's happening a lot, it can exhaust the body, so make it extra tired. So if you've been feeling extra tired, like wired but exhausted, like you can't sleep because, it's just everybody's systems are just so messed up. So let's work with that. That's what I want to work with today. All right. So if you guys would, to deal with the lag, having fun with that today. If you guys would go ahead and close your eyes and let's forget the lag that you might be experiencing. And take a deep breath in. Let's go into a meditative space. And we're going to work with our spirit guides today. Some of you who are students, we will call that your healing master. If you have a psychic surgeon, you can work with your psychic surgeon too. If you are new, and this is your first experience with the Psychic Institute here, or if you don't have an established relationship with a spirit guide or some sort of healing guide, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just set the intention that you would like to have a healing being, kind of like a healing angel, come to you to give you a healing today. And what I'm going to do is just work with an energy that I call the Supreme Being to get you some healing support today. So it doesn't look like there's too many of you, but just kind of tune in and I'll be sending you someone to work with you. Well, I won't really be sending them. The Supreme Being will, God will, but I'm facilitating that. And if you would, I'd like you to establish a communication, and I'm just going to call it spirit guide for today so that we don't have to list off healing master, psychic surgeon, healing being, healing angel. Let's call it spirit guide. And I'd like you all to establish a communication with your spirit guide. And just let them know that you would like some healing help today. And where I'd like you to first have them start is on your first chakra. Now that looks like a cylinder of energy that sits where the front opening of that cylinder is at your pubic mound. The back opening of that cylinder is at the base of your spine. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to ask your spirit guide to soothe and calm that first chakra. The first chakra will trigger, appropriately so, when you are in a situation where you need to go into a fight or flight response, when you need to duck and cover, when you need to run from a situation, if there's a potential accident where you need to be on, hyper alert, or if you actually do need to fight your way out of a situation. That first chakra will trigger to let you know and get your adrenals kicked on and your cortisol levels spiked to where if you need to, lift up the whole car, you hear stories of mothers lifting up cars to save their infants. Your body will give you that level of power to do it. But here's the thing, we're not necessarily in that type of a situation unless you're living in a war-torn country or you're in a physical environment where your physical safety is of concern. And so it's okay. You can ask your spirit guide to take that first chakra and just calm it and soothe it. And get it to the place where that body can just start to turn down. Every winter, I always tell everyone, the students here at BPI, those who will listen, I always say, hey, wintertime is a natural time to hibernate. It's a great time to get some extra sleep. It is the natural time, if you're connected with Mother Earth's biorhythms, to slow down, to not have so much on your plate, to rest, to rejuvenate so that you can come back out at the spring, you can blossom at springtime, start your new projects. There's more daylight so that you can do all the things that you want to do. We aren't really taught how to care for our bodies. We're not really taught how to match the biorhythms of the planet. And one of the things that we don't understand as a society is that our bodies, our lives, it's not static. Okay, we are energy. We're made up of molecules and atoms and up quarks and down quarks and spiraling ones, for those of you who are science geeks like I am, right? We're made of energy. Okay, we are all energy, and energy moves in a waveform. It's always up and down and up and down. Same thing, the universe, this planet, it's all energy. So everything's up and down, up and down. The earth goes around the sun once a year. Okay, it moves around, and it's, got that cyclical thing going on. And so this time of year, winter time, is what we could maybe call the downtime. And you could turn that into a negative, and it oftentimes is experienced as a negative for most people because they resist it. They're like, oh, I still need to be productive. I still need to accomplish things and do, go, go, go. The American dream, I've got to fulfill the dream. And that American dream is permeating out into other countries, and it's just like this constant voice that says you have to be doing all the time. And so, if you will, recognizing that right now is the perfect time to just calm down, bring it down. If you're not in resistance, you'll find that this downtime is actually a great time. And now, more than ever, it's so important to hibernate. Really, really, just if you don't hear anything that I say today, just hear this. Just hear this. Sleep as much as possible, rest as much as possible. Take your energy, kind of pull in a little bit, go into your man cave or woman cave or non-binary cave, right? Just go within, really find just some quiet and calm. It's okay to move slowly. It's okay to let your to-do list build up right now. Because of that group collective being on hyperdrive, it's so important to give your body a rest, to let it heal. Okay, sleeping is one of the best ways to heal the body, to let the body regenerate. Sleep is so important. So if you're not getting enough sleep, do whatever you need to do. Get healings from your healing masters. Get healings from whomever you need, right? Get some support, take some supplements so that you can sleep, okay? So important. And if you can get away with sleeping extra, even like past 8 hours a night, like 10 hours, just do it. Give that to yourself right now, okay? Your body needs it. The group collective needs it, okay? The more people that just kind of slow things down and rest, it's going to really help everyone's moods, everyone's outlook on life. The way we communicate with each other will start to be gentler, okay? Right? When you say somebody's aggro, what is that? That's either their first chakra, their third chakra, just triggering like crazy. Their adrenals are firing, and they can't really control themselves when it's firing like that. Okay? To some degree, everybody's a bit aggro. So just calm it down. Once your spirit guide is done working on that first chakra, would you go ahead and have your spirit guide give your third chakra healing? And again, just calming and soothing that third chakra, taking you from aggro to super peaceful to zen. Right into a zen space. So just let your spirit guide just really turn those body levels down, okay? Again, like I said, the first chakra has everything to do with survival, fight or flight. It's everything to do with your body's health, okay? that first chakra is overfiring, your health is going to be, and the messaging that you get for how to take care of your body is going to be kind of overfiring. You're going to kind of get wound up about all of it. If you've been wound up about COVID or your health, or if you're going to live or die, you got to calm that first chakra down. The third chakra looks like a cylinder of energy that sits right behind your solar plexus. And that has everything to do with mobility, okay? A lot of people like to call it your power center. I have a difficult time using that word because power tends to elicit some negative thoughts for most people, like, oh, you're a third chakra person. That means you're power hungry or power centered, or you like to impart your power onto others, or you like to try to control others, right? That is definitely a misuse of the third chakra. And so, at least for today, let's just talk about the third chakra in a neutral way, and let's talk about it in terms of mobility. Okay? The amount of power, if you think of like your body's battery, the amount of power that you have running through your body will fuel your body so that you can be mobile in that body, you can move in that body, you can do things, you can accomplish things in that body. And if you would, it's hibernation time. We don't need to be super mobile right now. It's not a time where there's lots of daylight to get so much done. It's a time to kind of power down that third chakra, power down the mobility, kind of work a little bit slower or a lot slower on your to-do list. It's definitely not the time to start new projects. Just kind of have your spirit guide help you to power down, to soothe and calm your third chakra. Yes, I'm hearing that. For some of you guys who are having money problems, okay, amping up your third chakra isn't necessarily going to get you more money. It's not going to have you manifest or attract more into your life. All right. There's kind of like a sweet spot with the third chakra. Okay. You want that third chakra kind of powering up or having enough battery running through it to match the activity level that you are partaking in. So if you're sitting in a chair meditating, you don't need that much battery or power running through your body. If you're running a marathon, you do want to power up. Okay. With regards to money, okay, when that third chakra is powering up appropriately to the activity that you're doing, there's going to be a balance there. It's kind of like with the car, and I'm totally going to be a girl and probably really mess this up, but there's something about like the way the pistons fire and the way, you press the gas and how everything kind of works together. You want that in balance or the car is going to overheat, right? Or overheat and stop functioning. You don't want to like overheat your body, right? And so with that balance, when that third chakra is in balance and aligned with the physical activity that you're doing, that's going to get that vibration of your money attraction space is going to bring that into balance. Okay. And instead of overheating or being in overdrive and burning yourself out and maybe even burning through money or burning through it, right? That's going to have you come to more of a balance with it. Okay? And maybe it's that you don't bring in more, maybe you kind of use less, or maybe you attract a person who helps you out a little bit financially during these times, right? But the common belief that you need to kind of amp that up and work harder, right? Put some elbow grease into it, okay? That is not what's going to help you if you are here today and you're experiencing financial difficulty, okay? The key is to have that level of balance, and when there's a balance, everything kind of aligns and you'll be able to attract the right level of balance financially with what it is that you need to be able to take care of yourself and your body. So just go ahead and breathe. Yeah, and just notice. You get those first and third chakras turned down, how much the body calms, how quiet that body can get. Turning down these chakras before bed, like calming them down, it's going to really help your sleep space. Little trick there. As I've been tracking the energy in the group collective around COVID and how there seems to be, generally, and this is kind of all over the world, two views with regards to how to manage COVID. And there's one view that's a little bit more concerned with the financial implications that COVID and shutdowns are bringing about. And then there's another side that's really concerned about death and the people dying and people's health, right? And as I'm looking at the energy of both those sides, what I'm amused by, or what I find absolutely amazing and incredible, is as I've been talking about how we're kind of in adrenal fatigue, we've been running our cortisol levels pretty high, and that has to do with the first and the third chakras. Well, the perspectives from which the two sides are viewing this problem, okay, they're very much a first chakra perspective and a third chakra perspective. Okay, we've got the one side who is concerned about the finances and freedoms and mobility and can I do this, can I not do that? People, we want them to do whatever they want them to do. Very much a third chakra mobility perspective. Okay. Then we have the other side looking through a first chakra, health and survival perspective. And they're checking out this problem. And both sides to me are very much valid. Okay? All the chakras in the body are very valid. And you kind of want to start to think of chakras as kind of like portals in a ship, right? Where if you're in a ship and you're looking out the little portal window, you kind of got your little chakras, right? Your various chakras in your body that look like cylinders. And if you're in a chakra, you'll look out a little porthole, and that's the perspective that you'll see, right? So if you are on a ship and you're on the lowest level of that ship and you look out the portal, you're going to see water and fish and all the sea life. And it might look kind of calm, right? If you're at the middle level of that ship and you look out the porthole, right, you're going to see a whole bunch of waves. You might kind of like right at that wave level be like, wow, there's a whole lot of turbulence going on. If you're looking out the ship and you're at the top deck, right? Yeah, you probably won't have a portal, but you will be looking, right? And you'll see the sky, and you might see the sun, and down below you might see the ocean and some waves, right? Everyone's on the ship. Everyone's looking from a different perspective. There's nothing wrong about the perspective. They're all valid. They're all real. All those perspectives are all happening at the same time. So if we start to take the two sides, all right, and we stop taking it so personally, whichever side you are on or think you're on, or whatever side you think everybody else should be on, right? If you start to look at this very mechanically and neutrally, it's like, oh, we just have people kind of looking at this from different chakra perspective, different kind of angles of the boat, and they're all valid. What most of us are not schooled on or trained on is that in order to solve a problem, okay, whether it's a big pandemic problem or whether it has to do with the climate or whether it has to do with something super small like your own problem or something that's going on in your life. It could even be so small as to, what am I going to have for lunch, right? Doesn't matter what size the problem is, but to get a complete solution, to get a complete answer, you can't be at one of those angles on the boat. You got to be at the captain's deck, okay? I don't know really what captain's decks might have looked in the olden days, but nowadays, right, on the captain's deck, there's monitors and screens and controls, and that captain gets to monitor all the levels. They get to monitor what's happening under the water, at the middle of the deck, at the top of the deck. They get to monitor all of that. And all of that information comes in to the captain's deck, and the captain gets to collectively integrate all of that information and then drive the ship and make those decisions as to where to head. Okay? Without a full set of information, an adequate solution cannot be found. Okay? So looking at any problem in your life, if you're looking through it from only a first chakra level, only survival and health issues, right? That's really as far as you're going to get with regards to a solution. If you're looking at a problem through the third chakra, through mobility and maybe finances, that's kind of as far as you're going to get, right? In order to get and gather all of the information to be able to have a complete solution, you got to get up on the captain's deck. Okay? In spiritual terms, I call that coming out of your lower chakras and bringing your energy up into your crown chakra. All of your chakras look like cylinders of energy that lay horizontal in your body. You have your third eye, your sixth chakra, which looks like a cylinder with a front opening and a back opening there, right? Your crown chakra is different in that it looks like a ring of energy that sits on top of your head. And that crown chakra, one of its functions is to gather up all the information, all of the input from the other chakras, bring it up in so that you can have a complete set of information up here. We call this crown chakra your knowingness. Do you know all that you need to know, right? And in order to know all that you need to know to be able to solve a problem, you got to bring your energy up here and look at problems, find solutions from your captain's deck of your body where you can gather a full set of information. Okay? You don't want to be a few chicken nuggets short of a Happy Meal as you're trying to make a decision, right? You want all those chicken nuggets. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. Some of you, your spirit guides are kind of healing you and working on you as you're talking. That's good. Go ahead and have your spirit guide take a pause. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go in and tune in with yourself. Just tune in. And I just want you to just get super real with you. Okay, I just talked about like maybe an ideal of where to solve a problem is. Okay, and just be okay with not being at that ideal. Be real with yourself. Okay, kind of check in. And what I'd like you to ask yourself is, lately, over the past week or so, as I've been kind of in this level of fatigue or burnout or, oh my God, when is this ever gonna end? Oh, I can't take it anymore. As you've been in that vibration, what chakra have you been living from? What chakra has most of your energy, your life force, been residing in? Has most of your energy been in the first chakra? Concerned about health, concerned about survival, maybe a little bit wired? Has your energy been in the second chakra, which is right there at your belly button? Have you been very emotional about the state of the world or the state of your life? Have you been a little bit sensitive, emotional, or kind of testy? Is most of your energy in your third chakra? Have you been a little bit amped up, maybe a little aggro? We're looking at the problem, of whatever it is that you're working on in your life, or it could be COVID or climate change, anything that you're looking at it from that perspective, which has to do with, do we have enough energy to solve this problem, to implement? Are you in your fourth chakra, right? That fourth chakra, a lot of people talk about it with the words of love. Sure, right? You know, they have that phrase, are you, oh, they're in love. They've got rose-colored glasses on. So you have a rose-colored portal. Are you looking at, you know, your situation or COVID right now through a rose-colored tint? Like, it'll be okay, right? Your fourth chakra also has to do with how you see yourself. So, are you seeing yourself as maybe lazy or depressed or a bad person because you're not handling things perfectly or appropriately, or you're not like being an A student about getting your to-do list done right now? If that's where you're at on a self-image level, well, you're going to be looking at your situation and you're going to be looking to solve your problem from punishment. I'm bad, I'm doing it wrong, not doing it right. Just kind of tune in. Where have you been living from? And for those of you guys who maybe can't get like a read or an intuitive hit on it, just kind of think about it. Like, how have you been responding to all this stuff? And I'd like y'all to just take a deep breath in. And if you would, with your intention, it's so simple to get into the captain's deck. So simple. Just with your intention, imagine collecting up all of your energy. Bring it up out of the lower chakras. Pull it all the way up. And I'd like you to see if you can bring, just with your intention, as much of your energy as possible into your crown chakra, into the top of your head, to where you're almost like imagining yourself just kind of sitting on top of your head. Just right there in that little crown chakra, just right in the middle of that little halo right there. And as you bring your awareness up into your captain's deck, the crown chakra of your body, let's take a few moments and just notice what that feels like. You might feel taller. You might feel more connected to the heavens. You might feel like it's kind of getting brighter, or maybe you're breathing deeper. What are you noticing? What does that feel like to be bringing your awareness up into your crown chakra? And again, remember, this is where you have a full set of information. This is where you mechanically can gather all the information you need to be able to solve any problem, any situation that you're in. Some of you guys might be thinking, well, what does this have to do with realigning with my purpose? When you can have this practice of bringing your energy up into your crown, you're going to have all the information you need to know what your purpose is, to know what your next step is, to know, knowingness, your crown chakra vibration, what your path is. And really, the goal right now, if you kind of need some words as to what your purpose is, it really just has to do with, can you meet each day with whatever it brings? Can you meet each moment with whatever it brings? And can you bring a full set of information to each moment and respond to that moment with all of your information? And from there, if you can meet each moment, meet each day like that, you're gonna walk in peace. Because see, here's the thing, those of you wanting to know, when is this gonna end? Not to sound super pessimistic, but for those of you guys who are my students, yeah, you'll kind of roll your eyes or go, yeah, of course me was going to say this. This is not going to end. Sure, maybe COVID will subside by 2022, right? Maybe we'll kind of go back to some form of normal, but you still got a body, you still got a lifetime. There's still going to be ups and downs. There's still going to be things that you experience. You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to also have amazing joys and wonderful things happen. There's always going to be these ups and downs. It's never going to end. Well, until maybe the body dies, but then even then, there's still more, right? You have an afterlife, and then you might have a next lifetime if that's what you so choose. So when is this going to end? I think if you're kind of looking for an endpoint, that's when you're going to find that you're not at peace. You're very disappointed because you're not meeting each moment with what it brings. You're not meeting today with what it's bringing. You're so far out there in the future. And that is another level that will create some exhaustion, right? When you have too much energy out in the future or in the past, not in present time, you don't have enough of your life force to have your potency, to have your power. Good. Take another deep breath in and see if you can just bring your awareness, just be right in your crown chakra at the top of your head. And for those of you guys who are very thought-based, very analytically based, I can hear you. You're kind of saying, well, okay, so now what? Aren't I supposed to have some thoughts of what I'm supposed to do? Yeah, some of you guys, you might have some thoughts right away as to what your purpose is, or thoughts around what your solution is. Some of you guys might have to hang out here a day or two or a few months to really access enough of your knowingness to then just, off the top of my head, I love these colloquialisms, right? Off the top of your head, you're just going to know what to do. Just going to know. And if that's you, that's okay. Just hear me, just hibernate, slow it down, chill for the next few months. Match Mother Earth's biorhythms, match the season. It's time to rest, it's time to rejuvenate. From your crown chakra, I'd like you to ask your spirit guide to balance your whole chakra system. Just bring all of your chakras into a balance where it's like all the cylinders are firing just right. No cylinders overfiring, nothing's overheating. Bringing your body system, your chakras, to where it's like a well-oiled machine. So just breathe. Let your spirit guide give your body's chakras a healing, bringing them into a balance, bringing them into alignment. It's pure mechanics, right? I'm not necessarily belittling both sides for their views on how to handle the pandemic. But what I am saying is that if the powers that be had just a little bit more training, a little bit more schooling on the spiritual levels, right? Maybe there might be somebody who could come up into the crown chakra, gather all the information, and be able to produce a solution that incorporates all the chakras, that incorporates everyone, all the needs, all the aspects. And as I put myself into that person's shoes who might be the leader who would do that, I go, wow, that's pretty daunting, that's pretty big. Good thing all I have is really my world, my universe, BPI, the students, right? That's a really tall order. So whomever chooses to step in those shoes, I definitely have some respect. Way to attempt that. For some of you guys who are listening right now, just being able to do it in your own life, come up to your crown chakra, access your information, find a solution, that might be a lifetime or a few lifetimes of a practice. So be patient. Breathe. And I'd like you to have your spirit guide work on the lines of communication from your first chakra up to your seventh chakra so that all the chakras are communicating and that all of the communication from each of the chakras is connected and able to go into the seventh chakra so that that seventh chakra can get that full set of information day to day, moment to moment. When those connectors are in place between the chakras, connecting it all up into the crown chakra, that's how you can gather all of that information and meet each day with what it brings. Oh, here's all the input. In this moment, here's how I'm going to respond. And in this moment, this is how I'm going to respond. You want a full chakra solution, and that comes by having all those chakras in balance, aligned and communicating. It reminds me of when I was in the dating phase with my husband, Danny, and he was telling me about his previous relationships and how he felt like each relationship was a relationship where there was a certain chakra connection, where, in one relationship it was a third chakra relationship, or in another relationship it was a fourth chakra relationship. Another one, it was a fifth chakra relationship, and all they did was talk, 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 talk. And in the dating phase, he was telling me about this, and I said, well, what are you looking for in your next relationship? And he got this sweet smile on his face and just a bright and shiny boy-like, level of like, I want it all. And he said, well, I want a 7 chakra relationship. I want all those chakras to align with whom I step into a relationship next. And I thought to myself, whoa, that's a pretty high level of manifesting. That's pretty cool. I could get on board with that. So see if you can have that relationship within yourself, a 7 chakra relationship. Good. Have your spirit guide start to wrap up that healing work on you. And just see if you can find some lightness, find some amusement as you're sitting there in your crown chakra, in your knowingness. And there's these famous words from a great avatar, right? He said, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And if you will, it's kind of like before COVID, chop wood, carry water. After COVID, chop wood, carry water, wear a mask. It's kind of like just generally same thing, same vibration, right? Try not to get too caught up in all the limitations or the change or the differences. Just chop wood, carry water. Be in the moment, be in the now. Here's what I'm going to do now. Here's what I'm going to choose to do next. Good. Take a deep breath in. Good. I'm noticing some comments coming through. For those of you that are noticing little aches and pains as you're doing this work, that's a great sign. That means that contents are shifting during flight. Things are adjusting, things are changing. When you get all wired up and you can gather all the information so that you know what's going on in your body, so you can meet each moment and know how you would like to proceed, know how you would like to take your next steps. Sometimes you're going to get some messages that are a bit uncomfortable. You might get a message from your first chakra. It looks like somebody's having a first chakra pain there, right? Or you might get a message from another chakra that's maybe not so comfortable, but that is your chakra giving you some information. This is you listening. instead of doing what most people do, where those chakras, the body's not in communication, they're numbing out, they don't get the messages, right? Or maybe they're, like what we were talking about, just living in the first chakra or the third chakra, and they're only getting those messages. They're not getting the messages from the other parts. So what I say to you who are starting to feel, who as you're doing this work, oh, my back, or whatever you're noticing, oh, pain, right? Or just everywhere is kind of in pain. I say, congratulations, you're listening. Good. Don't kill the messenger. Okay? And what I mean by that is not me. I mean your body. Don't kill your body. Don't kill the chakras. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's giving you some messages. So then you just sit in your knowingness. You sit in your crown chakra with all that information. Well, how would I like to respond to the pain in my back or the pain in my first chakra? Maybe I adjust my body. Maybe I have my spirit guide work a little bit more on that first chakra. Mind you, the goal is not always to get out of pain as quickly as possible. I know. That was probably a painful thing to hear. The goal is not always to get out of pain as quickly as possible, because here's the thing. If you're trying to get out of it really quickly, pain, no, you're trying to get out of that pain, that is called resistance. Resistance to pain. Resistance is like glue. And if you resist something, it will stick to you or you will stick to it. Okay? So you don't want to resist pain. Okay? The goal is not to get out of it quickly. The goal is just to respond to it. Oh, I hear you lower back, or I hear you back of the neck. Yeah, I'm totally hearing that. Yeah, keep singing. Oftentimes what I find is if you just listen and you release the resistance, you kind of slow things down, right? Right now is hibernation time, slow it down. Sooner or later, that pain will dissipate. But resisting it, trying to get out of pain right away, well, then you're just going to have to deal with it at some other point in the future. Yeah, so take a deep breath in. Good job. Let's take a few minutes as we wrap up this meditation and work on the planet. So if you would, I'd like you to ask your spirit guide to turn this healing on the planet to any soul, any person with a body on the planet who would like a healing. Would you first start by asking your spirit guide to work on the collective nervous system? That collective nervous system, just calming it down, getting the adrenal glands of the collective for whomever wants the healing, whomever is open to receiving it, getting that calmed down. And mechanically, that is healing the first chakra and the third chakra, bringing it to a more quiet, calm vibration. And if there's a person in your universe or people on the planet who do not want to calm their nervous system, that's okay. They get free will, they get to do that. You have your own free will to be calm, to go into hibernation, to not do what other people are doing also. We all have permission to be on our path. But I will say, I do find that the more that I'm in my calm, I'm in my peace, I'm in my awareness, those around me, they kind of start to follow suit. It's like in that movie When Harry Met Sally, I'll have what she's having at the restaurant. Some of you guys might be a little too young to know that, but if you're older like I am, hopefully you're chuckling. Good. Really having your spirit guide work on the global collective, the nervous system, calming the cortisol levels in the bodies, calming the first and third chakras. Yes, some of you guys are animal lovers. You can work on that on pets. Our furry companions, well, they may not always be furry, or our animal companions, they tend to try to heal us. They tend to take on our angst. You can do that for our animal companions too. Yeah, good. And then again, for those on the planet who are interested in receiving your help, would you ask your spirit guide to work on their chakras, bringing them into balance, getting all 7 chakras into communication, and creating a pathway for those who would like, hey, when you're working on a problem, if you want to sit here at the top of your head, that's where you're going to get a full spectrum solution. A solution that covers all the bases, all the chakras, all the life experiences, all of the angles from which to experience life. Better said. Good, and just breathe. And as they're healing this, it might kind of like, whoa, there's a lot. They're working on a lot because they're like working really fast. It's okay if you can't kind of track every little thing that your spirit guide is doing. It's kind of like we got a big collective of spirit guides going over and working on the planet. So you can kind of almost watch the swarm of the change happening on a global collective level. If that's too much, just kind of vibe into it. Vibe into the group healing. And there are going to be parts of the world where mechanically it's just impossible for those to bring their energy up into their upper chakras. There's too much strife, there's too much potential danger. There's bullets flying, bombs dropping, even worse than COVID. And for those countries, just have your spirit guides send as much compassion. Because if you're living in a war-torn country, if you're in an environment where your physical body is in danger, mechanically, your body won't let you get into the upper chakras because it needs as much energy as possible to be in the lower chakras, especially that first chakra, fight or flight. Got to be aware. Is there a bullet coming? Is there a bomb coming? Is somebody going to attack me because I live in a home where there's an aggressive person? Let's just send compassion to those who are living in those environments. It's not that they're doing it wrong. It's simply their bodies just won't let them. It's a mechanical thing, right? Most of you guys who are here on Facebook in the first world or even maybe a second world, right? We have a bit more of a luxury. We can do this. But in that, we can hold space for everyone else. Yeah, good. Breathe. Just notice the glow on the planet that's creating. Notice the softness. It's kind of creating a soft vibration. It's almost like the whole planet just exhaled. Yeah. Yes. And for those who are on a different part of the planet, different hemisphere, yeah, match those biorhythms. If you're in summertime, it is time to amp it up. Hopefully you can take what I just shared and apply it for your next winter. Yeah, good. Go ahead and have your spirit guide wrap up this healing work on the planetary collective. Have your spirit guide just give you a little mini healing, just touching you up, making any touch-ups on your chakra system, soothing your first and third chakra, your nervous system if it needs a little bit of just a quick revamp as we wrap up. Have your spirit guide add any finishing touches to this healing on you. For those of you who are students, you can have them fill you in with gold or replenish you with gold. If you don't know what that means, just imagine like golden sparkles throughout your whole body. Good. All right, thank your spirit guide for their help. And why don't you see if your spirit guide has any telepathic communication for you? See if they have any message that they want to relay about you, a problem you're working on, the global pandemic, the climate. Just receive that communication, that telepathic communication. Excellent. Good. Say goodbye to your spirit guide for now. Send them on their way. And go ahead and wiggle your fingers and your toes. Go ahead and stretch and open your eyes. All right. I'm going to open up the space for Q&A. It can be a question about anything we covered today, anything that was discussed today. It can be a question about anything global related. As I'm waiting for those questions to come in, our next Transmedium clinics, we have 2 next week, and then we'll be having more in January. So we have one on December 8th and one on December 11th. We'll also have a free aura and chakra healings happening on Monday, December 14th. The school will be closed from December 20th to January 3rd. And then we will be opening back up on the 4th, and our next round of self-healing will begin on Thursday, January 7th. You can take that first self-healing class for free to check it out. If you like it, great. It's a 4-week course. For those of you who are students, we are changing the schedule a bit in 2021, where all of our phone classes will be starting at 6 p.m. If you're in the Enlightenment or the Avatar program, we're moving class to Monday nights so that you can turn around and do reading and healing practica on Tuesday nights. And again, everything is going to be at 6 p.m. If you're a Transmedium student, please disregard what I'm saying. The schedule will stay the same for you guys. All right, any questions? Let's see. Lots of thank yous. You're so welcome. Yes, I know we have been very keyed up. Getting calm is a good thing, right? You got to keep the body. Cortisol levels, again, like you only have so much cortisol that you can expend in a lifetime before you run out. And cortisol, again, although some people think it's pretty toxic, and it's true, if you're running too much, it's extremely toxic. It inflames the body. It's just not good. But you need it to wake up in the morning. You need it to exercise. You need those little bursts to have the energy levels that you need. And this is where, for those of you who aren't sleeping very well, it could be because you're using too much cortisol. And you've kind of drained your reserves to where now the body's not active enough, it's not expending enough energy to wear you out to where you can really get a good night's sleep, okay? So really be conscious, just calming that body down, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere. It's hibernation time. All right, lots of thank yous. Oh, good. What about someone who has COVID? Does their energy yes. So thank you, Kathy. That is a great question. So just like those people that I talked about who are living in an environment where their bodies are in physical danger, when you have some sort of illness or sickness and you need that body to get through it, it is a good idea to let more of your energy into those lower chakras, to put more fuel into, especially that first chakra, to boost your body's health, boost the body's immune system. And, if you have COVID or if you have any sort of illness, and maybe you're living with something that's like long term, if you live there all the time, it can kind of be like living in the lower deck of a ship and just looking at the water all the time, right? If you've ever been on a boat and you're just imagining like the crew who like sleeps on the lower decks and they never really get sun, that's not the healthiest existence, right? You, again, like all 7 chakras, you want to engage all of those. So if you do have COVID or you do have some sort of illness or health project that you're working on, yeah, from time you want to give yourself times, like a wave, like a waveform, your energy up and down, of taking the elevator down into the lower chakras, amping up the survival and the healing health levels in the body, and then kind of take a break, bring it back up, take the elevator back up to the upper chakra. Okay. But yes, definitely, if you're in the midst of COVID and you've got like the high fever and everything going on, you will want to stay down there. The interesting thing that I have been looking at with regards to COVID is the cytokine response, and how you actually really don't want your immune system to get overactive. Okay, so although you might want some more of your energy in that first chakra to boost up that first chakra to kick on the immune system, you still don't want it over firing and in hyperdrive. Okay, so again, the mantra of the season: calm, calm, even with COVID, calm, okay? Those who have weakened immune systems, or like pregnant people aren't as affected by COVID because they're not getting that cytokine storm, okay? So you kind of want to balance that. All right, yes, hibernation. We have somebody who's saying that they've been having lots of anxiety and knots in their stomach, loss of appetite. That is from a charged up third chakra. So again, you want to get that turned down. And especially since you're a student there, you want to imagine turning that third chakra down. We got that visual of that cylinder getting thinner. Okay, so for you, you have kind of a thin body. You're going to want to imagine that third chakra at about like 5 inches in diameter, so pretty turned down. Okay. Cortisol and Kundalini can be linked, yes. And they don't have to be. You can definitely have a Kundalini rising experience, or your Kundalini can get kicked on, and it doesn't have to kick on your cortisol. Okay. The kind of closest example I can have to that, and some of you students are going to be like, oh, here she goes. I'm going to talk about sex. It has to happen at least once, right, per class. But cortisol levels don't really kick on when you're having a Kundalini rising orgasmic experience. Okay, so they can be connected, but they don't have to be linked, and you don't really always want them to be linked. It is a great practice to be able to run your Kundalini and not have that charge up your adrenals and hence activate your cortisol levels. All right. Any tips on helping me see or hear my spirit guide? Yeah, thank you for that question. The biggest practice that we have here at BPI is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes permanent. Practice is how you develop and master any skill. The difference between where I'm at and where a new student is at really has to do with the need to be perfect and this idea that you're supposed to just be able to do this like that. I'm just supposed to just pick it up and it's just supposed to just happen, right? We don't have that belief socially with like picking up a musical instrument, right? You have to practice for years with the piano before you can play at Carnegie Hall, right? Same thing with sports, right? The general idea is that you want to practice doing 10,000 layups or 10,000 free throws in basketball to really be, a professional basketball player. Very few people in the league, very few musicians pick it up and have a natural talent. And you know where that comes from? That actually comes from that they were doing that sport or playing that instrument in a previous lifetime. So they come in and you get these like 3-4-year-olds who can play, Mozart at a very young age. And that's because they did it in previous lifetimes. They just brought that information in. Okay. So if you're not picking up on your psychic abilities just like that, right? Go easy on yourself. You maybe have not been studying this in previous lifetimes. This could be one of the first lifetimes where this has come onto your radar. This has become something of interest. You are where you are, and you just got to practice. Okay, so practicing means getting as many healings as you can from your healing master or your spirit guide. Practice also means if you are in the BPI curriculum taking classes, it means attending the practica. And I am a broken record when I say attend the practica. That's where the rubber meets the road. That is where you will develop your skills. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and the students who attend practica more are the ones who always develop faster, who are the ones who feel more successful, and who find a sense of certainty and confidence in their spiritual abilities. Okay? Even I practice. I encourage my students, my staff members to practice. It's all about being in the practice. They say if you don't use it, you lose it. So I definitely live by that motto. And so I recommend practicing as much as possible. We have somebody who already has, oops, my screen just jumped. Where did it go? Where did they go? I lost their comment. Somebody was typing that they have a higher than normal cytokine response. I would definitely, and for some reason that comment disappeared, but I would definitely recommend that you have your healing master work on just calming that first chakra, calming the nervous system and the immune system to calm that cytokine response down. Okay. All right, looking at some of the comments. Yes, thank you for some of you guys who are my long-term students laughing at my sex comment. It always has to happen. Sex makes the bodies happy. It tends to lighten things up. You can't be so serious all the time when you're doing this work. As a matter of fact, seriousness is like the anti-healing. So I do like to talk about sex a lot because it lightens things up. So somebody else is having a difficult time eating and commenting on their way of working with that. Yes. All right. Looks like I have answered all of the questions. Thank you guys for being here on this Friday evening. I hope that you enjoy your weekend. Stay calm, hibernate. Before COVID, chop wood, carry water. After COVID, chop wood, carry water, wear a mask. We're just kind of going to go through life, okay? It's not really going to end, okay? Life always has the ups and downs, okay? COVID, yes, there will be an end point, okay? But if you're kind of really asking the big, question, when is this going to end? Yeah, probably when you die, and then even then after that, probably not, okay? Because you're eternal. You, the spirit you lives on forever, okay? All right. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. Mwah. Take care.